Hello, welcome to Bold Women Lawyers Spotlight Interview. We are here today with Lindsay Phillips. We're going to have a great discussion. For those of you who are new to the broadcast, I'm Sharon Christie. I'm the CEO and founder of Bold Women Lawyers, which is a business coaching program that for women in solo and small firms to help you to spend less time working, spend less time worrying, make more money, and love your law firm. So today we are talking to Lindsay Phillips all about content marketing. Let me tell you a little bit about Lindsay. She's very impressive. I've known Lindsay for a long time. She's great at what she does. She is the CEO of actually two businesses, Smooth Sailing Business Growth and Smooth Business Podcasting. She is a content marketing and podcast expert, the host of Leverage Your Podcast, that show, and the creator of the podcast Leveraging System. She's been featured on MSN, NBC, Fox. She's been published in Huffington Post and Go Solo. She's guested on podcasts like John Lee Dumas's Entrepreneurs on Fire. I know that one. And Joe Fairless's Best Podcast Ever. And there's a whole lot more. And it's hard to believe because she's only like 20. 20 years old. So yeah.
Try 52.
That's all right. Close enough. 52 is the new 25. It's all fine. It's all fine. Yeah.
I'll take that.
So Lindsay, I'm really glad and happy you were able to join us today because the whole topic of content marketing, we hear about it all the time. Lots of lawyers ask me, what is it really? I mean, we understand the term, but what is it and why do I need to do it? And it seems so hard. And how does it help me? And I think that's really what a lot of lawyers need to understand is how does it help me? And the other question I hear a lot is, how do I keep coming up all the time with brand new ideas? And that can feel like quite a challenge, although I know that you have a great answer to that. So let me get started and just want to ask you just generally, really, what is content marketing and how can lawyers use that to their best advantage to leverage themselves as the expert in their field?
Yeah, and I just explain it as it's sharing your expertise and your knowledge in various mediums. So whether it's social media, whether it's an ebook or videos or blogs or podcast, you're sharing all that good stuff that you know in there and you've learned over the years and you've gone to school for. And you're sharing little nuggets of that with your audience so that they see you as the expert and they see you as the solution, and they get tips that help them in their lives and serves them. So and again, it does span like a huge medium, right? Like, what do I do a blog? Do I do videos? Like, and that's, I think, the biggest question, Sharon, is like, what do I do? And there's it just
exactly.
depends.
How do you figure that out?
I know. To me, I'm like, you first got to think about your audience. So like if you're, I don't know, a divorce lawyer, let's say, then, and you are hiring women that are going through a divorce. So where is your ideal client? Where are those women hanging out? Do they like to read? Do they like to watch videos? Are they on TikTok? Are they in Facebook? Are they do you only work with professional women that are in LinkedIn? So it just kind of depends on like who are your top 5 favorite clients and you want more of them. Think about like all the nuances, the personality, their problems, their feelings, the logistics of what they're going through, all of those things. And then you kind of know where to be. And some people, like for me, I like videos just scared the bejesus out of me. And I'm like, there's no way I'm doing videos. I still hate it. But I loved writing and I felt comfortable podcasting. So think about like what's doable for you, what you have time for, and what feels comfortable. Um, Honestly, the easiest thing to do is just go into the social media and like put on your phone and start talking. Because it works with the algorithms. Video is huge right now, and you don't need a huge amount of prep. Just write down some notes and a few bullet points that you want to talk about. That's going to help your perfect ideal client. Does that make sense?
It does. And I think one of the things, like you said, you hate video and yet you're doing it,
I
right?
know.
You're doing it.
I do.
But the point about video, because I don't hate it and I really promote it,
Yeah.
with my clients, because someone who needs your services is able to see you and hear
Mhm.
you, really experience you without ever talking to you directly. But that starts to create that trust factor that we
Absolutely.
all need in order to get clients. It begins to create it when you haven't even met the person that you're talking to.
Yeah.
So, and I think you make a great point that, listen, you can just start talking on your phone. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be, you don't need professional makeup or hair or any of that. Just be a regular person, especially for lawyers, because it
Mhm.
can be so scary for
Yeah.
somebody to have to actually contact a lawyer. You're in distress to begin with because you've got some issue that you need a lawyer for.
Yeah.
And then they may have never spoken to a lawyer before. So
I
I
know.
think that helps ease that transition. So
It
when you're
it totally
yeah, go
does.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say you're exactly right, especially with lawyers. And it's like real estate agents, lawyers, it's like car dealerships, not that they're related, but like there's certain
Some
stigmas or ideas that
yes.
people have in their
Yes.
head about lawyers that, they're very like tough cookies and,
Mhm.
they're no, like there are negative connotations, unfortunately. And so the more you can share about yourself and connect to people on a human level, A, to show that you know your stuff, but B, to also show that you care, then those people watching or listening are more likely to contact you to help them with that given situation because they're going to feel like you're speaking to them already and you're going to feel like you know them already. And that just like cuts down that whole buying cycle so much faster.
Yes, and the other thing it does, and I wanna have you comment on this, is from the lawyer's point of view, it can cut down on the amount of time you have to spend explaining the basics
Yes.
to a new client. So let's talk a little bit about, when you're looking at content and you're thinking, what am I supposed to
Yeah.
talk about? How's somebody's, you know, how's a lawyer supposed to go about that? What
Mhm.
do you want to think about when you're thinking about your content?
A few points. So one of them is thinking about the biggest pain points that your ideal clients have. So like let's say again I'm going to go to a divorce lawyer just at a default. It's like the women may be thinking, "Oh, it's going to cost me a lot of money to go through a divorce. What am I going to lose of the assets that I currently have that are going to go to the other person or whatever that may be?" And so like that's one pain point. Obviously, there's going to be a bazillion others, but you have to think about all those pain points and how can you share a tip or a point of view or a story of someone that you've worked with or one of your past clients where that situation came up and you helped them overcome it. So, a couple things here. Thinking about all the pain points, write a ton of lists. How can you speak to that and reassure your audience? And then B, think about different stories and experiences that you have had, while you're at court, while you're negotiating, while you're in arbitration, when you're talking to clients. Think about all those different kinds of situations. Again, write all of those out so that you've got this nice pool of ideas. Again, whether you're writing a blog, whether you're filming a 3-minute video in your law firm, in your office, even when you're at home, like in a warm, cozy setting. Um, yeah, just pulling those ideas. The other one is also thinking about all of the questions that your clients ask you when you meet them for the first time. What are all those questions that they ask? Because then if you do a bunch of videos that answer those, you can use them when you're onboarding a new client. Hey, here are the most common questions that come up. Here are some videos to help you so that you can feel at ease before you even meet with me.
Mhm.
And then it also cuts down the amount of time of them asking those questions because you've answered them already. So you kind of kill two birds with one stone there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. And if you can find I'm not even going to say a way, multiple ways to
Mhm.
address those frequently asked questions, you're really ahead of the game. Because as you said, some people like to read, some people like to watch the videos, some
Mhm.
people may just need an audio. So there's multiple ways you can get the same point out to serve different people in terms of how they consume information.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I'll talk to lawyers and they'll say, well, I already did a video about, let's stick with divorce, about protecting your assets, or what
Mhm.
you have to think about in terms of assets if you're facing divorce. I already did a video about it. Well, did you do a blog? Well, no, because I already did the video. And yet, exactly, you're shaking your head. So why are you shaking your head? No, like, yeah, that's not the way to think about it.
Because people don't take inventory in a library of your content, and they may have seen something on your social feed once, but that was months ago. They're not going to remember, or maybe they weren't on social that day, so they didn't even see it. And again, maybe some people don't absorb videos, but they would rather go read something or just absorb and digest like a little quick tip. So repurpose, recycle, reuse, absolutely. And I'll give an example as well. So if you do a blog, or you have a blog on your site and it's about, I don't know, the top 3 questions women ask when they're getting a divorce. Um you can do 3 videos, one on each of those little tips or those 3 things. And then you can even add those videos to that blog post and then obviously share those videos. But you can also create little quotes or tips or other graphics or stories or reels on like those little like mini nuggets of information that are in there. So there's like, just think about like cutting it apart and like making it a puzzle and putting it back together. There's different ways you can utilize things for sure.
And that's really interesting because as lawyers, we know whatever our field is, we know it inside out, upside
Mhm.
down, backwards and forwards. And we tend to forget that as clients come to us, this is something totally new for them. They've
Absolutely.
never had this experience before. They know nothing about this particular area of law, whether it's divorce or trust and estates, or I did
Mhm.
disability law or criminal, whatever it might be that somebody's specialty is. The client knows nothing about it. And as much as you may feel like you are being repetitious because you keep talking about the same thing or different aspects of the same thing,
Mhm.
this is all new information for a client or a potential client,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, wholeheartedly. And it's like, if you again are in a certain geographical area and obviously are like the divorce lawyer of a county or whatever it may be, um, you want to connect with other people in your area. And what someone may be experiencing needing help with last year may not be the case this year, or they know a friend and it's come up for them. So they may, oh, hey, I've seen this woman on Facebook. She does these videos. She really looks like she knows what she's talking about. You're more likely to get referred. So yeah, you just have to, as long as you're always creating content and being top of mind, that is key. And I have another tip if you want me to.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes.
Um, yeah. So because lawyers, again, they're not necessarily doing things online where you're reaching a global market. Um, when you are on social, it's really good to connect and make those partnerships with other lawyers, other people who have the same avatar. Um, I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now for divorce lawyers, but
Well, let me throw something in. And when
okay.
you say avatar, you're talking about ideal client, right?
Yes, sorry. Yes.
So in the divorce realm, frequently there's some overlap with mental health providers,
Ooh,
therapists.
yes.
Yeah, frequently there's that overlap. So let's say I'm a divorce lawyer and I'm putting out, information and tips about what happens when you're facing divorce and things you have to think about, et cetera. How do I make that connection with another allied professional? In this
Mhm.
case, it would be a mental health therapist, but there can be many, many, could be an
Totally.
accountant, could be many other
Yeah, bankers
allied
for sure.
professionals, bankers, right? So what do I do? How do I make that outreach? I guess through
Mhm.
my content. How do I do that?
So a couple of things. One is to make sure that you are following those companies, those people on social media. Have hopefully they will connect with you back. Comment on their posts, really engage in their material and again, they will naturally reciprocate. And same with like community social media like your Better Business Bureau, your um town bulletin or whatever that may be, connect with there as well and show that you're an active part of the community and that you care
Mhm.
about the community. And that naturally will just extend your reach. But another cool way, which you yourself do, is connecting with um, other entrepreneurs, like you said, someone in
Mhm.
the mental health space, maybe invite them. Hey, would you mind coming on Facebook with me and doing a live video? And we'll just chat about women in divorce and the impact it is on their mental health. You're serving your audience by giving
Yeah.
them another resource and some tips, and you're showing that you care about them and want to help them, but you're also tapping into that person's audience, where by doing that, naturally they're going to share it. Cool, I was live with this person or on this show or podcast or whatever it may be. And again, they're going to share that and then put you as the lawyer into their audience. So you're
Mhm.
tapping into somebody else's audience. And collaborating with people in any way is always beneficial to the growth of your business, no matter what. And like really, if you invite someone and say, "Hey, will you partner with me and refer your clients to me?" They're gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah.
But if you're
What?
like, "Hey, I really want to serve my audience. I really want to share your expertise and help people. Would you do this podcast or this live video, or we can pre-record it?" And then you just naturally build that relationship and get to know each other. And maybe you do that quarterly, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever that may be. But you're building those networks, you're serving your audience, and you're creating content to be top of mind and give your audience what they want to hear.
Yeah, no, those are excellent, excellent points. And that's right, because now you've broadened the resources that you're providing for your audience to not
Mhm.
just the legal side of things, but other areas that are related but are not your area of
Yeah.
expertise. And you're providing that for both your followers and whoever you bring on, the people that follow them. So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
But let me go back to what you said about commenting on other people's posts, because I'll hear from lawyers, and I know lawyers we're not the only ones that do it, but I'll hear, well, I went in and I liked a whole bunch of posts, but that's not enough, right?
No, it's not creating that conversation. You're not showing your personality.
So what do you want to do when you comment?
Well, to me, it's like if there's an article that someone put out or, a long post or whatever it may be, and I was like, ooh, like that was really good to hear. And I'm like, that would be of value to my audience because it was really impactful or it was a really personal story or whatever. You can share it on your own wall, but
Mhm.
also comment and just say, thanks for sharing. Like that story is really impactful. I've had that happen to me, or I remember when it happened to one of my clients and blah, 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 blah. And just give your perspective or how you felt about that or how you think it can help someone. Versus just, oh, that was really good. Like, why was it really good? Why is it impactful? You know what I mean?
I do, because the comments, "Oh, that was great, great post," really are sort of empty. There's not a lot of meaning there.
Mhm.
But if you explain why you felt that way, or if you disagree with their point of view,
Yeah.
whatever it might be, um, then there's some potentially meaningful dialogue going
Yeah.
on there. And then when you share something that
Yes.
is really helpful to your client base, that's a huge bonus because now for the person who wrote it, you're sharing it to your whole
Mhm.
audience too, and they're very grateful that you've done that. And again, that can be a basis for a great conversation between you and the person who made the post.
Absolutely. And they say actually in social media in general that as a rule of thumb, 30% of your posts should be other people's content. So if there's an article that you read on like, I don't know, wherever on online and you're like, "Oh, that helped me. It was really useful." Share it. If it's going to be helpful to you, it'll likely be helpful to somebody else. If there's like an industry article that was new law and divorce or whatever, share it. And then you may think, oh, it's too industry, but you never know. It might be helpful. And B, it shows that you're up on the latest and greatest and new
Yeah,
things that are coming up. And it shows that you're educating yourself. Or, hey, I'm going to this conference next week, and you share something about the conference. It shows that you're always educating yourself and that you're not stagnant. And same with, like, again, if there's a mental health article or even just a feel good story, whatever, it just shows that it's easy for creating content. You don't have to like think anything up yourself for starters, but then it's also serving the audience. And then if it gives you that opportunity to connect with the person that created it in the first place, that's like a double win.
exactly, exactly. There's a bonus there. Well, these are fabulous tips. Fabulous tips. Now, tell me, because I know, this is some of the work that you do as related to everything we talked about. So tell us a little bit about what you do, and then we'll talk about how people can get in touch with you.
For sure. I mean, we have been a content marketing company for years and we have niched down to podcasting. So we obviously launch, produce podcasts, but also help others that are guesting on a podcast and leveraging that content. So to me, it's like any long form content, whether it's a video, a blog, or a podcast episode. How do you publish it on your website so that you optimize it for SEO and get more organic traffic to your site? B, how do you disseminate that information to get in front of more people and gain
Mm.
exposure? C, how do you leverage it and multiply that content so you can pull all these little bits and pieces out? So, like those quote graphics, reels, videos, just social media posts in general, emails to your list, a LinkedIn newsletter, whatever it may be. How do you use that information so that you're not killing yourself trying to create more stuff? You've already got a big body of work. Pull little pieces out of it and make more content so it's super easy. And yeah, and how to use that to your advantage so that you can attract your ideal client and be top of
Mhm.
mind, show that you care and build that level of trust and show your expertise.
So if listeners want to get in touch with you, Lindsay, what's the best way to do that?
I would go to smoothbusinessgrowth.com. I do have obviously podcast episodes and blogs for content sharing, how to SEO, how to write a LinkedIn newsletter, how to, do XYZ in content marketing. And of
Mhm.
course, yeah, happy to share any tips to kind of like get you started.
Okay, terrific. So it's smoothbusinessgrowth.com. I put the
Oh,
website
perfect.
up there on the screen. And I know there's lots of great information there. And then there's a way to contact you if somebody wants to, of course, talk to you and go further, right?
For sure.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, this has been great. I love all of these tips that you gave us. I really want people to understand that I know it seems daunting and intimidating,
Mhm.
but it really can be broken down into much smaller steps using information that's already in your head, and you just need
Yeah,
to unlock it a little bit.
that's exactly it.
And for the lawyers, it is not a legal treatise that you're writing, not at all. It is, and
No,
we get caught in that,
so
but
true.
it's not. It's just how you would talk to a new client, answering
Mhm.
their questions,
Yep.
how you respond to the questions that you get day in and day out, or as I like to say, it is using the speech that you give every new client, where you run
Yeah.
through the whole process. Put that down in writing, and then start breaking it down into smaller
Mhm.
pieces. And
And
you
don't be
can,
afraid to be human and be yourself. You don't
yes,
have to be
exactly.
in this, like, sure, you wear suits to go to court and stuff like that, but you don't have to be, this lawyer persona. People wanna feel connected with you and obviously know that you know your stuff, but yeah.
Exactly. But you're right. They want to see you as a real human being too.
Mhm.
So, well, Lindsay, it's been great. I really, really appreciate you coming on,
You're very welcome.
and
Thanks for having me.
I thank you for all of the tips that you gave us.
Alright. Thank you for having me.
All right, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.